Hi guys, it's Ray here from City Fan TV. Yes, we got a brand new name and a shiny new logo. Hope you like it. It's international break now for the next two weeks and no games for the men's team. But there's a game for the women's team on the 7th of September, the Manchester Derby. But today I want to talk about a bit of sad news and about what happened to Aymeric Laporte at the weekend in our 4-0 win against Brighton. Obviously he's injured. We don't know as of yet the extent of that injury. It didn't look great at the time. When a player lies down like that, prone for any significant amount of time, when they get the stretchers on, when they're very careful with him, you do worry about the state of that injury. Look, we don't know what it is. We're hoping that it's not too serious, but let's not get into too much in the realms of conjecture and speculation. Having said that, my feeling is he'll probably be out for a few weeks at least, which is really bad for the guy. I feel really sorry for him. He's just got his first international call-up with the French national team, and to have this happen in such an, let's say, innocuous fashion is very disappointing for Aymeric. And yes, we all wish him a speedy recovery, and hopefully he's back playing very, very soon. So, in his anticipated absence, what I want to do in this video is talk about the other alternatives that we've got at our disposal at City, have a look at some of the players and look at how much they played last season for the first team, and just to see have we got enough players going forwards. Will we be able to sort ourselves out if we have another, hopefully not another injury or suspensions or whatever. So what I want to do is look at the main players, okay? We'll start off with Aymeric Laporte himself and look at him. Last season, he was basically a league player. If I remember correctly, I think he played in 35 league games. Basically almost all of them. That's somewhere out of 38, it's almost all of the games. And obviously he was our main man in the league and I think the Champions League too. So it's a big loss. He was whether he was partnering Vincent Kompany, whether he was partnering John Stones or Otamendi, he was our mainstay in pretty much all the games. Looking at the Premier League stats, it says Stones played 24 league games, Otamendi 18 and Kompany 17. So sounds like a lot actually, all those together. But anyway, that's what they're saying on the Premier League's website. So let's look. Laporte's out. Okay, obviously he played, I think, the odd game at left back as well. Stones played the odd game at defensive midfield. Even I think he played one game at right back. So it's not exactly accurate. They didn't play all those games at centre back. But let's look at John Stones first. Look, he's been out injured for a couple of weeks. We're not sure whether the state or the extent of his injury. People have said it was a diplomatic injury because of off the field issues. We just don't know. But Pepper said after the international break, just about everybody will be available for the Norwich game. Obviously, Leroy Sané's long-term injury. Looks like Aymeric Laporte might join him. I'm not sure actually if Ben Mendy will be fit for that game against Norwich on the 14th of September. It's an away game. So look at so John Stones should be fit by then. He played 24 times last season for the first team in the Premier League, apparently. And so when we had Aymeric Laporte and John Stones, they had that a lot of time in the Centurion season, the first part of the season. They were our mainstay centre-back pairing. And because of their ages, around 24, 25 at the time, a lot of City fans thought this could be our centre-back pairing for the next 5, 6, 7 years. As long as they stay fit and healthy, as long as their form stays top-notch, then they'd be there. And Stones looked very good in that Centurion season. And last season, the first part, I think, until he seems to get injured or after Christmas, his form drops off and he doesn't get picked as much. Now, we simply don't know what the reason for that is. Whether he's played too many games, whether he's tired, that affects whether he's tired physically and mentally, we just don't know. I mean, last season, you can't forget, who can forget that goal line clearance in the game against Liverpool, which helped us to win that game and consequently helped us to win or retain our Premier League title. So John Stones played a lot of games last season and the season before, partnering Aymeric Laporte. So hopefully he'll be back, and more than likely he'll be partnered by Nicholas Otamendi. Now Otamendi, according to the Premier League stats, played in 18 games last season. Now obviously some of these will include substitute appearances. Some of these players might have only got on for 5 minutes at the end of a game, or 10 minutes, or whatever. So Otamendi played 18 times in the Premier League. And Vincent Kompany, I just mentioned him, our departed captain. He played 17 times. So look, there's scope for Otamendi to, obviously to make up that ground. And that's what I'm expecting. Stones and Otamendi as a pairing. It's going to be interesting because, obviously I'm expecting Otamendi to play on the left of centre-back and John Stones on the right. And I think they could be together for many, many weeks. Other alternatives, obviously, we saw on Saturday Fernandinho. Now, he came on once Aymeric Laporte went off injured, and he actually had a fabulous game, in my opinion, and the opinion of the Blues that I spoke to after the game at the ground or on the streams that we've done since the game. People are saying, actually, he played really well. And if they were giving him marks out of 10, they were giving him like 8 out of 10. And I think he had a fabulous game for the amount of time he played. Great header. I think there when a shot looked goal were bound. I think it was Trussard had the shot. It was a miss hit, but hits into the. I think Edison was already going down for that, and it would have gone in if it wasn't for Fernandinho's fantastic clearance with his head. And I think he was brilliant. I think he intercepted one pass when we were under severe pressure in an attack. They had a breakaway, they had an attack, and he kind of intercepted it like a defensive holding midfielder would do. He stepped out. He knew what was going to happen before it happened. He was anticipating it. And I just felt at that time, you'd have to be an exceptional defender to think the way he did then. And maybe he was thinking as a defensive midfielder. But it was a great piece of anticipation, a great piece of skill. And he looked very calm, cool and collected. And passing the ball around at the back, no problems whatsoever. Obviously, looking at Brighton, they're not in the same league as someone like a Liverpool or Arsenal or Chelsea or Man United or Leicester, or the teams that probably are going to be fighting for the top 6, top 8 positions in the league this season. Brighton, I don't see them amongst them, especially with their attackers. Can you imagine? The true test would be if Fernandinho had to play there, for instance, against Liverpool, against Mane, Firmino, and Salah. That's a totally different kettle of fish, totally different prospect to people like Neil Maupay or others that Brighton have. But Fernandinho, he's shown he's a more than capable deputy for either Otamendi or John Stones. Who else have we got? Well, last season we had, obviously we had company. We had Aymeric Garcia, who played, I think, 4 times, but they were in the cup games. I don't think he played in the league at all. So he's more a Carabao Cup man. I do remember he played in the semi-final against Burton. So he's a Carabao Cup man. Philippe Sondler, I think he played a couple of games, but once again, was it the Carabao Cup or the FA Cup? So, he's off on loan at Anderlecht in Belgium with company, obviously. So, Aymeric Garcia is another one. He's another option that can cover at centre-back if we need him. And there's Walker as well. I think Pep said Walker can play there if he needs to. So we could end up this season trying a three-man at the back, or Walker could play centre-back, and obviously Cancelo can play right-back. So we've got various different options. Now, personally, we've even got Taylor Harwood-Bellis. If you saw Taylor Harwood-Bellis, big unit. He played in a lot of the pre-season games on the tour, the Far East tour. He's only 17 years old. He looked immense. He looked, as I said, strong and powerful, very calm and composed, like Aymeric Garcia, except he's a lot bigger unit than Aymeric Garcia. So I think we've got that lot of options, a lot of cover, and the people who are, some City fans, alleged Blues, are coming out and criticising Pep and Cheeky for not buying Harry Maguire, for not buying another centre-back. And they seem to conveniently forget that, we played with an attacking midfielder in Zinchenko at left-back for a lot of last season and starting this season. We played the season before with a kind of defensive midfielder in Fabian Delph playing at left-back. We can make do and mend with players playing in different positions. So, people who criticise Pep and Cheeky, I think they're out of order, and I really question their whether they're actually wholehearted City fans. Makes it very difficult to accept that they are. So yeah, what I would expect to see going forwards now, I expect to see Stones and Otamendi playing most of the league games and starting off the Champions League campaign. In the Cups, I would expect to see people like Eric Garcia, maybe Fernandinho playing at centre-back. One of them, maybe not both, playing at centre-back, maybe Walker as well. It's going to be interesting what we do at in the Carabao Cup. You know, do we play one of Stones or Otamendi with the worry that if they get injured in the Carabao Cup, who's going to play the league game? So it's a very, very difficult situation in what's going to happen in those league games. But I expect them to, as I said, I expect Stones and Otamendi to play the bulk of the league games and the Champions League games in the absence of Aymeric Laporte. I expect people like, as I said, Fernandinho and Eric Garcia, possibly Taylor Harwood-Bellis, to play in the bulk of the Carabao Cup games. Fortunately, the FA Cup is starting in January. Hopefully, that Aymeric Laporte will be back and fully fit to long before then. So it's, you know, I think we've got lots of options. It's nothing to cry about that we've not bought somebody like Nathan Ake or Harry Maguire and paid silly money for them, or bought someone like Bonucci and paid silly money for a 33-year-old player who's never played in the Premier League. I'm still comfortable. I'm still comfortable with who we've got. Obviously, I'll become less comfortable if somebody gets injured or suspended or something like that. But still, you know, if Stonesy isn't fit for the next game, I'm more than happy with Fernandinho as centre-back, partnering Otamendi. You know, hey, they managed it against Brighton. Why can't they do it against Norwich? I don't think that's an issue. And as I said, we wish Aymeric Laporte the best, and hopefully he'll be back on the pitch, fully fit, very, very soon. Guys, if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, we've been going, I do believe, 87 days. I think that's right. And we put out almost, I think, 200 videos in 87 days. Every single day, we put out a video for you guys, free of charge, no problem. Trying to do the live streams almost every day, 9 o'clock. You know, catches almost every day. Obviously, when there's matches, especially away matches, it might be more difficult to stick to a 9 o'clock or even do the live stream in the evening. But if we're at a match, you know, we'll put out half a dozen videos during the day as well. So you will get your City fix during the match days several times if you want that. But as I said, if you want to subscribe, it's dead easy. Hit subscribe. You'll be subscribed. Hit that bell icon. Make sure you're notified as soon as new videos come out. Videos like this, standalone videos, and the live streams that we do either at games or in the evening, just a gentle, leisurely chat about football, mainly about City, but about football, about other sports, and about life in general. So see you around Blues.